Welcome everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to this week's episode of the weekly HScale newsletter recaps. Got a very exciting episode for you today. Might be a little bit longer because we've got some Trainfest announcements to cover from a variety of different manufacturers. So I'm having a great time making these. I hope you are enjoying them as well. Before we get into it, do me a favor, as always, subscribe if you are new or if you find yourself coming back anyways. It is completely free. You can always change your mind and it honestly just helps me to make a couple dollars one day. Like the video if you enjoy as well, and drop me a comment if you find anything interesting. With that said, let's go ahead and start off here with Rapido. So as you can see in the back here, we've got Rapido pulled up. We got a little bit of a summary here of what we'll cover today. Starting off with the mystery box, which I did pick up last year. I got a Union Pacific AB set in E8s. They're really, really cool. So I need to do a review on them. I also need to replace the number board housings in them. Rapido sent me some clear ones instead of the blanked out black ones, so I can put a train number on there, which will be really, really cool because they didn't come with that. They were the only E8s that didn't come like that because it was more prototypical. But of course, it seems like from pictures here, we got the dog in the beanie, as we call it in the US. Um, Looks like a lot of PA1s and RS11s being the DCC and sound locomotives, and it seems like they've been giving out more rolling stock as well. So of course you get the ornament, the cup, or different swag, and then the chocolate as well. So that's really cool of them to be offering this again. You want to make sure you pick those up soon because it is a first come first serve option. But definitely check that out if you're interested. It's a good deal if you don't really care what locomotive you'll get, because you get the rolling stock and the other swag as well. Well, let's take a look at some of these new in stock items. We got a surprise drop of additional FPA4 and FPB4 locomotives. We've got Canadian National and Via Rail here. They are in stock and shipping now, so that's really cool as well. Love the detail on these locomotives. I don't think I'll be picking up for myself. There's a little bit of information for you if you'd like to look at that briefly. But check out all this detail on the locomotive. Your standard Rapido quality. They're really, really good at getting all those details. There's a little list of those features, and of course the paint schemes here as well. Next up is another item in stock, the double sheathed wood boxcar. Sort of a transition era model that I don't think I'll be picking up, but really cool paint schemes offered here if you're interested. There's a little bit of history on those as well. And we'll get down to lots of those underbody details that we love to see. There's a list of those features for you. And let's take a look at those paint schemes. A lot of sort of dark browns because they are, of course, wood boxcars. So the companies wouldn't necessarily paint them completely. But here's a good look for you. And you'll want to pick those up if you're interested pretty quick. Next up, another boxcar, the CP Mechanical Reefers here. They do also come with sound, which is pretty neat. So they've got versions with the silver sides and the Pac-Man logo, or black sides and the Canadian Pacific script. A little bit of history for you. These look pretty cool. It's sort of a nice reefer option to have. There's a little list of those features and the paint schemes we're all looking for. It says they didn't make a lot of them, so if you are interested, these will probably be the fastest going items. And next up here, some new announcements. We got a new run of the NSC ballast hoppers. These look really nice. I haven't bought some yet. I was actually eyeing up some Athearn ones, but I didn't pull the trigger. They were off Facebook. Here's a little history of them. A lot of them were under the Canada Branch Line Rehabilitation Program. So a lot of these paint schemes, you'll see that black box with the white border. That's that little tag that they put on those cars to denote that. So some of the paint schemes you'll see, if we get some pictures of the real things from Jason, and those features, you'll see that logo applied to most of these Canadian cars offered in the run. They do have 3 undecorated options, 3 different colors, which is nice to see if you're looking to make your own. But here's a look, lots of paint schemes offered here. I really like that BC Rail, the BCOL dark green. I didn't actually know that was the color of their ballast cars, so that's really cool to see. These really pop. I haven't made a maintenance away train yet, but when I do, I think I want to pick some of these up. And they do poke a little fun here at the other manufacturers that they're the best. So up to you to decide. But the order deadline for these is February 17th. Moving on here, we have the N scale release of the Greenbrier reefers. So of course the HO scale release was announced a couple months ago. I've got the ScaleTrains pack number 1, which you can see the model on the right there. That's the scheme I'm getting. I'll get the 6-pack of those. But this is the N scale release, so if you're interested in picking those up. Again, I'm not an N scale guy, but I just like to touch on things from that community as well if I can. They do have the same paint scheme offerings as the HO release. So that one on the top is the one that I've picked, and then I might pick up a couple cars from the Lineage scheme as well, just because I think it looks pretty sharp. We got a couple Union Pacific and data only cars as well. But I'm excited for those to come out in HO to see how they stack up with the ScaleTrains reefers I've got. And of course, next up, we've got probably my favorite release of the year, or really ever, the Bud Gallery cars. I have 3 packs of them, and they are probably the single best piece of rolling stock that I own. They've got incredible detail, the lights look great, it's just so nice. I did do a video review of the ones I picked up. Got the Metro Burlington and 2 packs of the Metro BNSF cars. So definitely check that out if you're still on the fence. They are going pretty quick, but I'm very, very happy with them so far. Moving on, they did do a little YouTube video on those double sheathed boxcars we talked about and the AAR boxcars as well, if you're interested in picking those up as well. And since now Trainfest has passed here, it was this past weekend, I'd like to jump over and show you one of their announcements from that. So over here we've got an announcement of new SD7, SD9s, and SD10s. So this is their pre-production samples here. These look really cool. This was something I didn't expect Rapido to be coming out with, and I think I might end up picking one up. Not quite sure which model or road name. I know they did say Milwaukee Road is confirmed, but sounds like they'll have updates coming soon once they refine some more of the tooling and then post the official announcement. But that's a cool release to have. But back over here in the newsletter, love their little jokes in here as well. They will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern or 6 p.m. Central tomorrow on the 26th if you're seeing this on the release date of this video. So definitely take a look at them. They're fun to hang out with and just have them talk. Good banter there. They'll also be on the Around the Layout podcast on December 6th at 7 p.m., which is pretty neat. They'll also be at the Prototype Rails Meet in Cocoa Beach. And of course, they'll be at Amherst in January. That's the 25th and 26th of 2025. One of the biggest shows as well. And a little update here next about the HO 44 tonners in the Southern Pacific scheme. So the orange wasn't quite the right color, and the factory will be shipping the corrected orange samples or the orange schemes to Rapido. So all you need to do here is send an email with that subject line of SP44 tonner shell to trains@rapidotrains.com and just sort of prove you bought the model, and they'll go ahead and send you the corrected shell at no cost, which is really cool. So thanks Rapido for following up on that. And then just some arrival updates here. The GMD ones look really cool. I really like the Oregon Pacific scheme if you haven't seen that. It's very limited in stock, so I think I'm going to miss out on it because I didn't know actually that that release was happening. But the one I'm really paying attention to is that the F40 PHM-2s, the Metro Winnebagos, were delayed on decoder files, so they're going to be shipping probably this week or next week, which is really cool. Can't wait for those as well. And then just some pictures here from the factory. You got the H1644s, and then the PFE reefers. I've always loved the Pacific Fruit Express scheme. And of course the Comets as well. Here's a little shot of them installing the underbody, the piping and conduit underneath the cars, and so many seats inside as well. And then Rapido did have a 20th anniversary event that I'll kind of breeze through a little bit here to show you some of the pictures. They got their bus, of course. They were all amazed by a boxcar instead of the transit. They did feature a couple videos as well in here. These are some nice shots as well. And of course, they're recording sounds. So what could that mean? Stay tuned. And they did show off the Toronto's first subway samples. This one's hand painted, and it looks pretty good for being hand painted. Driving the bus real fast. More videos as well here. And then a little teaser of an upcoming HO scale project, the CLRV. Just some early renders here. They'll have a full release later on in 2025, it says. But these look really cool. So probably some of those sounds that they're sampling will be from this. And that's all we've got here for Rapido. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Broadway Limited Trainfest announcements. All right, over here in Broadway Limited, we don't have a full newsletter, just a recap of these Trainfest announcements. We got 3 new models coming for HO scale. First up here, the Chicago Northwestern Yellow Jacket, a brass hybrid model that I honestly forgot even existed. So these look really cool. These are just early 3D renders as well. You can take a look at some of those details there if you'd like to pause. But check these out. It almost reminds me of the Blue Goose in terms of a wacky paint scheme with a streamlined steam locomotive, but that's really cool. Of course, Paragon 4 and stealth options here as well. We have a pre-order deadline of April 24th, 2025, and I'm sure we'll see more renders and such before then, so you can take a look first. And something they had teased before, HO scale releases of the Fox River and 2066, the Power Car. Both brand new cars that are in the UP Heritage fleet that nobody's done before. So we'll take a look here. They start off talking about the Fox River, which is a theater inspection car. And they're offering it in both the original Chicago Northwestern scheme and then 2 versions of the Union Pacific, one with a white roof, as you can see here. Got the same ditch lights, marker lights, and interior lights, but they've also got spotlights on there as well, so it'd be really cool to see some demos on how those are mounted and operate as well as they move in through production samples of these cars. I'm fairly certain it'll be similar to the Kenefic that's coming out soon with the touch controls instead of a wand. And here's a little information on the Power Car, number 2066. So it used to be a postal storage car, and then it was rebuilt with electrical generators as well here for the Excursion fleet. So they've got 2 versions there as well, with the antenna arrangements differing. And they're also going to do a primer gray version as well, so unpainted. So that's really cool from Broadway Limited. I think I'll be picking up definitely the Power Car, but I'm not sure about the inspection car since I have the Kenefic on order. We'll see, but very nice offerings as well for those. Both of the Excursion cars have the same deadline of April 24th, 2025, so we've got some time before you make your decision. But next up, let's go ahead and hop on over to ScaleTrains. All right, welcome over to the ScaleTrains newsletter. First up featured the HO Scale CN Heritage units. I finally have all 4 of them. I have the BC Rail from a previous release that I picked up off Facebook, but the other 3, the Illinois Central, Wisconsin Central, and EJ&E that you can see here flashing by, I did pick up from the most current release. Notable difference is the painted wheels offered on the new release. So these are incredibly sharp paint schemes. Did a nice review on them that I'm super excited to share. So just an update from ScaleTrains. They've got sort of limited quantities here as well. They don't say exactly how many, but pretty much 12 plus for the DCC and sound versions and a little bit less in the DCC ready. So definitely take a look at those if you're interested in picking those up. And as for N scale, They do have some more of the hypotypical schemes in stock as well of the ET44s. Moving down to the ST45s, featuring the Rio Grande scheme here as well. So they're running out of stock pretty quick from ScaleTrains. Seems like most hobby shops will still have a couple available as well. I haven't picked one up yet. I was looking at the Clinchfield or Seaboard Coastline versions. Since I have the tunnel motors coming in the Rio Grande scheme, I like those a little bit better. But here's just a quick look of the different road names and road numbers that are available. We have talked about these before and looked through all the paint schemes, so I'll just sort of breeze through a little bit here, just in case you're interested. And then today is the pre-order deadline for the new run, the third run of the Trinity Reefers. So I have the first release and the second release. So the first release is the roofline icicles, as you can see here, and the second release did not have the roofline icicles, but icicles around the logo, or logo icicles. So that second release isn't offered. This is sort of patched versions and the first release all over again. Still love them, love both of them that I have so far, and it's cool that they're offering these distressed and patch versions as well. They're doing the same as delivered schemes as well. If you missed out on that first run, you can still pick those up as well, but those pre-orders are due by today. And another pre-order for today, the Heritage Gevos for CSX, as well as some other road names. Featured here are the CSX Heritage schemes, so a new run of those as CSX has been releasing them. Then they've got what they call the standard road names. Looking at the Canadian National City Rail patch, which is pretty neat, and then of course a Ferromex offering, which tends to go pretty quick as well. And those will be delivered in the summer. Again, pre-order by today. And a final reminder, today is the end of their Trainsgiving sale. So N-Scale seems to have the best deal here. If you buy a DCC and sound locomotive, 2 freight cars free. The DCC ready, just 1 freight car free. Skim through again because it's just N-Scale. The N-Scale silver tenders are 35% off, or under $35, sorry. But the individual HO scale water and fuel tenders, so the Jim Adams and Joe Jordan being those on the Excursion train with the big boy, those are $20 each, so 40% off retail, which is pretty nice. And additionally, exact rail freight cars are on sale as well. I do have a whole bunch of the exact rail platinum PCNF beer car. I didn't do a release video on them because they were out of stock from ScaleTrains with this sale, so I didn't feel like it really was important, and I was a little busy, so sorry about that. But anyways, here's a list of those that are available, so definitely check those out and see if there's a scheme or a model that you're interested in picking up while they're on sale. The ones I did buy, the beer car in the Tropicana scheme, were on sale the first time, and I thought it was a really good deal. And additionally, the museum quality SDL39s are 39% off as well. You're saving about $100 on the sound equipped versions. Not a whole lot in stock with those as well. Mid-recording, ScaleTrains actually announced an extension of their Trainsgiving sale through December 2nd. So same N-scale sales as before with the free freight cars, but for HO scale, tons of new offers here. Most notably, looking at, for me, the Chicago Northwestern AC 4400 CWs. That's pretty cool to see. And then a lot of rolling stock here on sale. I'll just briefly show you here so you get a good idea, but definitely check this out. It's posted on their website, the list here as well. Got 2 S-Helper models as well. Similar sales that we saw before. And another little update on their details and a reminder of Thanksgiving. But that's all for the ScaleTrains Trainsgiving sale. And of course, they were at Trainfest. They got to show off the AC44 C6M rebuilds. I've got the Sonic bonnet on order. Very excited for that one. And the new CSX Heritage unit schemes. And just finishing off here with some holiday updates for ScaleTrains. Let's go ahead and take a look at Athearn, which had some Trainfest releases. All right, over here in Athearn, starting off with pre-order update here on the Genesis 4700 covered hoppers. A lot of cool paint schemes here. We have talked about it a little bit before. You got single packs as well as 3-car sets with different road numbers in each. In the standard Athearn line, we've got the 60-foot box cars here. Also, pre-order deadline coming up soon here. And something we have talked about before, the Roundhouse F7A locomotives. Lots of paint schemes offered, including the Metro scheme as well, which I think is cool. They've got the number 308, which is at the Illinois Railway Museum that I've seen in person. So I might pick that one up when it releases. I just don't plan on pre-ordering that one. And another Roundhouse model from a previous run here shown, but very similar, same tooling and such. The 50-foot high cube boxcars as well. A lot of paint schemes offered because it's sort of your standard Roundhouse line, so they're able to do more paint schemes. And they've got 3 road numbers per road name as well. Another HO scale release, your Athearn SD40. So they're middle of the line model. So these will come with economy sound, NDCC, or silent. Got some cool offerings here, and I'll let them flash by here. The FWWR is pretty neat. I haven't seen that made before, so if you're interested or you've been wanting to model that for a while, definitely take a look at those. You can always upgrade them with extra detail parts and with tsunami sound instead of economy if you're interested as well. And next up here, their Trainfest announcement. Let's go ahead and hop on over to their YouTube channel and check that out. So Athearn did a little recap here on YouTube during their live announcement. Their Genesis model is the SD60 here. We've got some of those paint schemes offered. Interesting enough, we don't have the Oakway Leasing model offered, which a lot of people in the comments that I saw were a little confused about because that one's really popular for the SD60s. But it's nice to see these offered in the Genesis line. They've been offered in the you're ready to roll, or what's now just normal Athearn line as well. So cool to see them update that here as well. And your same features as usual. We do also have the Pullman postal cars offered in a variety of paint schemes here as well. We've got a maintenance away version offered. Pretty standard car in your regular Athearn line as well. But that's all they had in terms of Trainfest announcements for this year. Back to the newsletter. Just a nice picture here, and then an update on their holiday hours here. Let's go ahead and take a look over at Tangent Scale Model since they had another release announcement as well. All right, welcome over to Tangent's newsletter update here. You see another Chicago Northwestern option, sort of following in the footsteps of Broadway Limited. We've got the Chicago Northwestern ICC bay window cabooses here. Got a lot of light options here as well. So these look great. You got the red scheme as well as your standard original yellow and greens. Here's a little list of information or facts about the model here. Just move through slow in case you're interested in pausing and taking a look. They definitely do their research, I'll say that. These will come with the lighting wands as they have before. So first one is that delivery scheme in red. That looks pretty sharp. Haven't seen that one offered before in sort of your rivet counter line that Tangent does. Got the repaint here offered. Lots of variations between each scheme as well. So there's that scheme here. And then the final scheme has the FRA red light as well. Again, lots of facts here, lots of research going into it. But there's that scheme as well. And of course, they've got each version offered as an undecorated model in case you're interested in modeling your own as well. So lots of different options for undecorated models here. And they'll come sort of like this, completely broken apart, ready to be painted and such. And they'll also be adding new parts to their website. So your caboose flags, which come with most models already. You'll just need to drill the hole in. And then the electrical pickup trucks as well. and they're already shipping. Here's just a list here of the features. Of course, coming with KD couplers out of the box, which is very nice. Tons of details here on these models. And there we go. That's what we got from Tangent. Let's go take a quick look at Walthers. All right, over here in the Walthers e-update, they do a little manufacturer spotlight usually. This time they're featuring the Tortoise switch machines, well known for being pretty much your best slow speed switch machine in the business. They really don't need any hyping up or anything. Everybody already knows the name. That's most people's go-to. Talking about a new release of the Walthers mainline, 3-bay open hoppers. Lots of paint schemes offered here. I just won't go through all of them. Again, since it's a mainline model, they're able to offer more paint schemes because they're not looking for the road number specific detail here. Another mainline release, the logging flat car, 45 foot. This does come with log loads already included. It's just plastic, but it does look pretty nice. Next is a little notice of Walthers Black Friday sale. It'll be 10% off all in-stock products, and if you are a Yardmaster member, which is completely free to sign up, you will get double points that you can use to earn more points to save you money on future purchases. That'll be live this Friday of Black Friday. Got an N-scale release in modeltrains wood-sheathed caboose here. They feature a book here about the Guilford rail system. So before it became Pan Am here. It's always a sharp paint scheme that I've liked. But that's all we have from Walthers. We got a quick update from Atlas to finish us out. All right, and finishing off here with a quick update from Atlas. They're in-transit models here as of the 22nd. So an N-scale release here, but let's take a look at the HO scale. We've got a -8, -40B. Atlas is pretty good with those. They're pretty much your go-to manufacturer for that model. Lots of boxcars offered. We talked about that 20,700 gallon tank car in the last video. More boxcars here. We got a crew cab pickup truck in HO, which is nice. Then a little bit of O-scale here. Some more rolling stock. And the Metro scheme, I really hope that that comes to HO, probably from Rapido since they're already doing the Winnebagos, but if they're able to do the standard F40 PHs, that'll be really sweet. But that's all we've got as far as updates from Atlas for this week. So wrapping that all up, I know this might have been a little bit of a longer video, but of course we had some really cool Trainfest announcements. I definitely didn't cover all of the announcements. There's a lot more that I just haven't seen yet, but no worries. Definitely drop me a comment if there's something you were really interested, or if you went to Trainfest and you had a great time, let me know. I unfortunately missed it this year. But thank you again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. If you did make it this far, do me a favor and subscribe and like the video if you enjoy. Drop me a comment again if you found anything interesting, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.